Right. Hello everybody. Welcome to Woody's Works again. Sitting here in the dark in the D3. Bit of a problem today. Jumped in it after not been in it for a few days. She's been sitting on the drive. We've just jumped in it and we've got a warning light coming up. So it's the engine management light. No idea why it's coming on, but we're going to find out. Oh. The interior light's gone on. Alright, we're going to find out why it's coming on. We've got the carsoft lr2. I'm going to plug that in and find out what's going on and why it's coming on. Okay, so we've flipped the camera around now, just turn the heaters off. We've put the ignition on and we've got the light on there that's staying on, so everything goes off apart from the engine light, and we can start the engine and the engine light stays on. So we've got the carsoft plugged in there and we're going to see what it says. I'm hoping it's nothing crazy. I've owned this car now 7 months maybe. First time I've had anything happen where lights or anything have come on, so we're going to look and see what we've got. Discovery 3. This is the diesel V6 and it's an automatic, so we'll let this go through its modes and see what it finds, and hopefully it's nothing major. We can turn the lights off and it was just a brain fart from the car, but I'll let it do its thing, then I'll come back to it. Right, so that was pretty quick on this. So first we're going to go to the engine and we'll read the codes there, and we've got 2 turbocharger. What's that noise? I don't know what's going on there, it's making some crazy noise. Boost correlation sensor A, and exhaust gas recirculation control circuit low. So that's the EGR, which can be a common problem with these. Not sure on what the crack with that turbo is. Turbocharger, supercharger, boost correlation sensor. Going to have a look into that one. P123A is the code, so we'll have a look into that and see what that is. But we're going to clear them and see if that, oh no, it is, that's turned the light off. So now the light has gone off, so we're going to have to find out what that is and why it's doing that, whether it was just a one-off thing or whether the EGR needs cleaning, and what this turbo boost valve sensor is. We've got some funny noises since this has been plugged in. Don't know what's going on, but it's coming from this area. So we'll turn that off and then we'll try turning the car on and off and see if it's gone. But I'm going to have a look through the rest of the faults. This is the first time. So lost communication with the instrument cluster module. We'll clear that. These could be historical ones that have been in here for a long time, but obviously one of the engine ones was definitely new, if not both, because they'd put the engine management light on. Let's read these. No codes there. SRS, let's read them. No codes in there, so that's all good. Instrument pack, read codes from there. Lost communication with ride level control module. Well, I've been having no problems with that. All I can think this is sometimes if the battery's been connected it can bring this sort of stuff up. Lost communication with parking assist control module. Well, I've got no problems with the parking assist or the ride height at the moment, so we'll clear them. Let's check the ride level control module. Oh, we don't want to clear them yet, we're going to read them first. Read those. No codes there, so we can clear, make sure that's clear. I mean, there's a lot on this, look. heating, ventilation, read. I think these, oh here we go, front foot defrost mode stepper actuator, so I would say that's the actuator that sends it down into the footwells. Front face, left and right blend, system pressure, front defrost. So it's obviously had some problems in the past, but it's got none now. Everything's working on the heating. So look at the terrain response, invalid data received, so that could also be down to battery. A lot of these things can be a dead battery at some stage. Audio, no codes in there. Body control, 7 in this one. Local interconnection network bus circuit 2, memory control module, seat height motor relay, seat slide motor relay. I mean, all my seats are working. They do work automatically when you get in the car, and they adjust for you. Tilt, and the steering wheel tilts when you get in as well. So these are pretty historic codes, I would say. Right low beam circuit. I did have a bulb out not long ago in the right hand side, so that could be that one. Clear that. So the best thing to do with codes when you're reading the codes on the car for the first time is to clear them all and then go for a drive. Anything that turns the engine management light off, obviously keep a record of that. I've got this video which is a record of what I've got to look at, so I'll go and have a look at them because I don't want it to become a problem. Transfer case control module. I mean, there's apps. We've got loads. Parking brake module. I'll have a look at that. No, nothing there. That's good news. Let's quickly go to the ones. Transfer case. Lost communication. Escape, and we'll clear that one as well. Okay. This could be pretty boring looking through all these for you, I'm not sure. No start, even after restart attempt. Flame detected prior to normal operation, and fuel level. Now that's my fuel burning heater, which comes on to warm the car, the engine up if it's below freezing or below 5 degrees or something like that. When you've got the little thing comes on the dashboard there, the little snow thing, or the little ice snowflake that comes on next to there. Generally, I don't know if it's below 3 or something like that, but whatever it is, it comes on there and the fuel burning heat comes on. But the fuel burning heater does work, because it's been pretty cold lately and it's been on. You can see it smoking when it starts up from the front. And if you put your hand under it, there's a little exhaust where you can feel the heat of the smoke coming out of. Check that one. Let's check these. Nothing in there. Okay, escape. Read that one. Okay, escape. See, there's a lot on this one. A lot of things that can go through this for a cheap device. You know, I think you can get them. When I bought this, it was over 200 quid, but you can get them for 120 or something now. These ones, so they are good. I also had a Jag that I used to use it on. You'll see a video on my Facebook, on my YouTube of that. But there you go. That's that done and that removed. So I'm going to turn the car off now, and then I'm going to try it again. Sorry about a mess on the camera. It's not bad. I'll take the key out. See, my steering wheel moves and my seat moves. So we'll take the key out. We'll lock the car, and then we'll open the car, put the key back in, drop the key, I'll put the key back in, and then we'll turn it on, turn that back down, and then we'll start the car, and the engine management light is off. Let's give it a little rev. I mean, it come straight on when I got in the car and started. Engine management come on and didn't go off, so just hopefully a little fluke of the car. But I'm just going to go back in and make sure we've got nothing showing. Oh bollocks! Come back out. Automatic. This is really quick on this one now. I mean, yes, on my Range Rover, this damn thing can take 10 minutes to get through everything it had to go through, and it flies through on this. 28 things. I think there was 32 on the Range Rover. It's 28 on this one, but it's through them quick. There we go. Let's just have a look at the engine. What we want to see is no codes. Okay, so we've got no code. So I think what I'll do is, not right now because I'm going for Jack Daniels. I'll take you for a drive, and if it comes back on, there's anything to report, I'll do you another video. But for now, that's off, and hopefully everything's good.